My name is Megan Vickers. I'm a physiotherapist and Pilates instructor, and today I'm going to take you through a postnatal Pilates sequence. This is safe to start from 6 weeks postnatal and works on the key points of your postnatal rehabilitation: deep tummy muscle strengthening, pelvic floor activation, and pelvic ring closure. We're going to start in standing, so on your mat, feet are hip width apart. Just want to soften your knees and see if you can grow tall through the crown of your head. Lift at your breastbone and just take a moment there to open the chest. Check the weight is in the middle of both feet and is evenly weighted left and right. It's very natural after being pregnant that our weight isn't sitting in the best position posturally, so just take a second here to just find your best posture. Now, with that sense of growing tall through your spine, you should feel that natural lift of your deep transverse abdominis, the muscle that looks like a corset and wraps around your whole tummy and spine. If you can't quite get that, just bring your hands onto the soft part of your tummy and see if you can get a pelvic floor lift. Imagine your sit bones left to right, tailbone to pubic bone, all coming together like a square underneath you, gathering like a handkerchief. Then see if you can lift that handkerchief up so the pelvic floor contraction comes up through the muscle layers. And you should feel a tightening across your low tummy. Now relax that down and feel that muscle soften. So now what you're going to do is try and keep that muscle activation coming on, so that sense of the pelvic floor coming together and lifting up. And you're going to raise up onto your toes of one leg. On your out breath, you're going to hip twist that leg out to the side and breathe in and come back in. So you've got that little pelvic floor lift, that deep tummy muscle connection. And as you hip twist that leg out to the side, you're getting deep into those gluteals. What you don't want to do is let your pelvis follow that hip. So this is working on your pelvic stability. Pregnancy and childbirth is a real pelvic opener. And so now what we're trying to do now is close the pelvis back down. So you're getting that deep pelvic floor connection, deep tummy connection to bring the pelvis back together and stabilize it. You want to stay bent on this supporting leg so you start to work all the way up through there. It's very easy for that hip to just pop out, what I call catwalk hip. So you're going to keep those muscles working as you're hip twisting the opposite leg. Okay, then you're going to move it into a scissors level 1. So you've woken up the supporting side with that leg pointing front. On your out breath, see if you can zip up that low tummy. Use these lower abdominals to float that leg up off of the floor and then release it back down. So breathe out, imagine a zip, pubic bone to tummy button, lift that leg and then release it down. But it folding up, like you're curling your knee onto your chest. So you don't want to lift it with the waist or the hip itself, you're just going to fold up from those low tummy muscles. Breathe out as you go. Once you've practiced this a few times, you can try and add in a pelvic floor lift as well. So getting that co-contraction, tummy and pelvic floor coming on together. So it's just working on that postural rebalancing. It's gentle enough to start soon after you've had your baby. And it's going to prepare you for that other stuff you want to do. Running, which comes later on, cycling, things which need this pelvic stability. Okay, now the last one we're going to hold, we're going to combine our last two exercises. We hip twist that leg out to the side just a little bit, then you squeeze it back in. Hip twist just a little bit and squeeze back in. So we're just going to go for 6 today. See, feeling how that challenges the supporting leg. Waking up the muscles around the calf, the thigh, and definitely in the bottom. And last one. And the leg returns. Okay, then we go straight into the opposite side. So check in again with your posture. Grow really tall, lift your chest, soften your knees. In pelvis neutral, the opposite leg comes up. Breathe out, hip twist that leg out to the side. Breathe in, squeeze it back in. Imagine there's a weight on the outside of your leg you're pressing out. Weight on the inside, squeeze the leg in. Breathe out, press. Breathe in, come in. Check in with the supporting leg. You're working the whole way up the back of that chain. The bottom muscles are switched on. The thigh and the calf is all working. Every time that leg goes out, see if you can gather the pelvic floor and lift the pelvic floor. Release it as the leg comes in. Breathe out, work together, breathe in, release it all together. Last one. before we scissor that leg. Breathing out, that leg floats up to your chest. Breathe in, lower it to the ground. Breathe out, float up. Breathe in, come down. Lift through that low tummy. Release. And then again, once you've practiced this a few times, so you can get a co-contraction of that low tummy and the pelvic floor. So that zip now goes from your tailbone underneath your body to pubic bone and then up to tummy. It's all about resequencing those muscles. When we're pregnant, the big dominant muscles at our waist like to work a lot, and those corset muscles on the inside get a bit switched off. So now we're going to tap into those, strengthen the deep layer first. Now we're going to hold for 6, hip twist level 3. Chest stays lifted, grow tall, breathe out, hip twist that lifted leg. Breathe in, squeeze that leg back in. Breathe out, hip twist. Breathe in, come back in. Keep that supporting leg bent, so you're challenging your stability. And release. Brilliant. Okay, so now we're going to take it into high kneeling. So a roll down is a really nice little extra bonus exercise. So sideways on, hands on your thighs. You're going to slowly curl your chin down towards your chest. Think about opening up every single vertebra through your neck. And then slowly slide your hands down your thighs, curling over that upper back, then mid back, opening up one vertebra at a time, gapping all the joints through your spine until you're in your deepest roll down. Take it to wherever you can. Once you're there, just enjoy the stretch through your whole body. Make sure you're not holding onto your head. And then bend your knees and take it into a high kneeling position. So in high kneeling, we're going to have our knees open and our heels squeezing together. That very act helps to close our pelvis, brings the pelvic floor together, brings the sit bones together, gives us that stability. And as we do that, you'll feel your pelvis push into neutral and you naturally want to lift through your chest. That's where we're going to go. Squeeze your elbows in towards your waist and palms towards your face for Cleopatra. Breathe out, squeeze your heels and then squeeze your shoulder blades together as your palms open. Breathe in, release. Breathe out, heel squeeze, hands come open, chest opens, pelvis closes. And release. Work as hard as you can through the back of your arms and through your shoulder blades. Working on that posture. It's very natural to develop a lot of tension in your neck and in your chest postnatally. Doing a lot of lifting and carrying these days. So we've got to work on opening that chest and to support the whole spine. Okay, now as you go, I want you to see if you can close and lift through pelvic floor. So you're gathering all 4 corners of the pelvic floor together and you're lifting up as you open out, release and lower as you come back in. Breath out, all comes on together. Breath in. Take your arms a little bit wider this time, so you're going to squeeze open, pelvic floor lifts, and reach those arms out to the side. Come back in, and return. Make sure you're not forgetting to heel squeeze. If you can't add in your pelvic floor too, then that's absolutely fine. It will be working just by you squeezing your heels together. Two more. Let's do one more. And release. Okay, so now you're going to bring your hands together and you're going to keep your spine straight and sit back at your hips. So you're just tipping the pelvis forwards, putting a little stretch through your pelvic floor. Then as you come up, the pelvic floor is going to close. Tailbone to pubic bone underneath your body. So you're shortening the pelvic floor as you come up. Lift through the pelvic floor as your arms raise up. Breathe in, release. Sit back. Breathe out, start at your tailbone. Close and lift. Push those hips through. Hands press together and lift up. And then release, sit back. Hands pressed together, tailbone through the pubic bone. Lift through that low tummy as you go. and then release back. And again, if adding in that conscious pelvic floor is too much, just work on that heel squeeze and hand press. You'll be getting a little bit of pelvic floor and deep tummy coming on just with those two working together. Your rehab now is all about gradually increasing the load, getting your body to work a little bit harder with every one of these workouts. Two to go. And one. And release. Okay, so now we're going to take it down into lying. So whenever you're changing position postnatally, always try and roll onto your side and then onto your back to prevent any extra or unwanted load on the tummy. So when you're in lying, try and find your neutral spine. There should be a little curve in your lower back if you have one naturally when you stand. And so when you rest your hand on the low part of your pelvis, your hand should be flat, not fingers pointing up and not fingers pointing away. Your hand should look flat. Again, bring your hands onto the soft part of your tummy and see if you can feel that muscular tension as you lift your pelvic floor. You have to press quite hard a lot of the time because it's a deep muscle, so you're feeling quite deep into those layers. Lift through the pelvic floor, and the first muscle that lifts up underneath your hands, that's the one we want to try and hold. Okay, now just holding that contraction on, relax your upper body into the mat, and just start by walking through the feet. So you're lifting alternate heels up. You're just asking your body to add a little bit of a challenge whilst maintaining that contraction. So we're just going to go for 10, just to kind of tap into that muscle, get that conscious connection going, and then we're going to relax that off. Then we're going to take it into one leg stretch level 2. So we're going to reset that muscle. We're going to slide the one leg in. Now this is the hard part of the exercise. As that leg comes up, don't let the pelvis twist on the mat. If you need to, have a feel with your hands that your pelvis has stayed level. Once you're happy you've got that, you're going to breathe out and reach the leg away. As you go, imagine a zip through your pubic bone all the way up to your breastbone, zipping up. Release that back down. So you're sequencing the muscles again from this low tummy up, making sure you're not getting dominant through your waist. These muscles should feel completely soft underneath your hands. And again, take as long as you need to make sure that's happening. We can't expect our bodies to know exactly what to do straight after having our baby. We need to reteach them sometimes. Okay, so as you go away, you're lengthening through that leg, even weight underneath each side. And then on our 10th one, we take that into lift and lower. So we hold it here, we're going to breathe out, we're going to lower that leg down towards the floor. Feel that muscle tighten up a little bit more. Breathe in, lift that leg. Breathe out and lower. Breathe in and lift that leg. This is one of my favourite postnatal exercises. You can just feel that deep muscle layer draw up and in. Your legs are acting like the weight here, and as the leg goes down towards the mat, your deep toe muscles controlling that lower. Imagine you had one in your arm and your bicep lowers it down towards the floor. It's exactly what your tummy's doing here. Last one. Back to halfway, bend your knee, return to the mat. Okay, now as we take this into the other side, again, first set that deep tummy muscle through your pelvic floor. Slide the left leg up and keep your pelvis level on the mat. Breathe out, zip up through the tummy, starting at the low tummy all the way up to breastbone. Breathe in, fold back in. Breathe out, reach away. Breathe in, fold. Keep checking in with how you feel left and right, even weight under each side of your bottom. Muscles at your waist should feel quite relaxed, and your upper body doesn't start lifting up off the mat. Keep that neutral spine all the way through. And on that last one we hold. Breathe in, Breathe out, lower that leg. Feel your deep tummy muscles drawing up. Breathe in to raise. Breathe out, zip up even more that low tummy. Breathe in and raise. As you go down, it might be tempting for the back to lift up, and that's where the deep tummy muscle lifts up even more. If you have quite a deep curve in your low back, it might be quite hard for you to control. That's exactly what we're working on. If you've had a C-section, again, this targets that low part of your tummy, so it's quite natural for it to pull here a little bit on the low tummy. We often recommend waiting until 8 weeks after a C-section before starting your Pilates exercises. And if it does tug, it's okay to work up to that point, but don't push through it so it becomes sore. Soften those muscle layers, just moving around the scar, and it's all part of that healing process. And then we fold the knee and we lower it back down. And we're going to take it onto one side. So from here, you just roll straight over, and you can use that underneath arm to support your head. You want to have your waist lifted here, so just as much as you are in standing, you can see your waist, so you're balanced on your hip, not your waist. And your feet are bent just behind you, your knees are flexed to about 90 degrees. Nice straight spine, like you're lying flat against the wall. And all I want you to do is feel through your tummy as you lift that top leg. Again, this deep, low, transverse abdominal should switch on automatically. If it's not there, try and get your pelvic floor lifting now. For side kick here, it's mimicking what we're doing when we're walking around, when we're climbing the stairs. So we're flexing at the hip and we're taking it back. So what we're working on is your automatic pelvic floor when you do those activities, your automatic deep core muscle, all working when you do these activities around the house. We're warming it up here and switching it on. You can use your hands to check that you're working the right way. So we're still working on those deep tummy muscles. You should start to feel it through your bottom as you go. And the goal here is you could rest a nice glass of champagne on your top hip, and you're not going to spill a drop. You're so steady, and that's what we're working on. When you can do that with ease, you know you're ready for stage 2 of this program. Last one. Always check in with that top arm. If it's waving at me, we're probably using the upper body for a bit of stability. Try and keep that as still as possible. Now when your leg returns and is hovered over the underneath leg, I want you to lift the foot of the underneath leg so your heels press firmly together. You're then going to breathe out and roll your top hip open, and then breathe in and close it all the way down so your knees touch. Breathe out and roll open, press your heels together. I can't see any light between your heels. Breathe out and open, breathe in and close. This is again a great automatic pelvic floor exercise, great for closing the back of the pelvic ring, so rehabbing from any pelvic girdle pain you've had in your pregnancy, and still working on the tummy as we lift through our waist here. 2 to go. Okay, now we're going to change sides. Those exercises are great to repeat if you have the time, so you're working on sets. Aiming for 12 of each, 3 sets is really, really nice little workout to get those muscles recruiting. So then, same thing on the opposite side, checking in with your posture first, and then the top leg floats up. It's going to kick forwards from your hip, making sure you don't shorten your waist. And then breathe out and move that leg back behind you till the thigh is just coming behind the body. Breathe in, kick forwards. Breathe out, push back. Again, you can use that upper body as a bit of a guide. Is it swaying, or can you keep it perfectly still? The waist stays up. Take it back for one more. And then the leg comes and balances over the underneath leg. Now the underneath leg comes up and the heels press together really firmly. Keep those heels pressing, you'll feel both sides working hard. Wrap that top thigh open. So it's not a lift, but a wrap of the thigh, a twist of that thigh. So you're getting that real seat muscle working. That's the deep bottom muscles, which are next door neighbours to the pelvic floor. They're side by side. So you're working on both those muscle groups. Keep checking in with how that tummy feels. Try and stay as relaxed as you can at your waist, but still working on all of those muscle layers. Try not to grip and build tension through that shoulder. Shoulders start to rise up towards the ears. And 2 to go. And release down. Okay, pushing up into sitting. The last thing that's important in the postnatal phase is pelvic floor down training. So a lot of the time we're busy trying to reconnect with that pelvic floor, trying to get that lift, trying to make it work harder and do more. But it's also about relaxing it in between. There's probably no other muscle group in your body that you think about just taking it to the gym and never stretching it out. And the pelvic floor is a muscle like any other in the body. You must then consciously relax it. So either in the position that I am now, or in any restful position, anywhere you find relaxing, you're just going to think about that muscle, the one that goes from sitting bone to sitting bone, tailbone to pubic bone, and you're going to think about not pushing it out, but imagine it just shrinking back towards the bone, so stretching back out. So you've been ruching that handkerchief that goes between all of those 4 points together, and you've been lifting it up through this workout. Now we're lowering that handkerchief down. And we're also going to lay that handkerchief out flat. You're increasing any of those muscles. Sometimes it's quite nice to do a pelvic floor contraction, lift the pelvic floor contraction, and then lower to fully relax it. So you're just trying to get it to switch on, to switch off. Try that one more time, just ruching together, lifting up, releasing it down, and letting it go. You can take your legs even wider than this, and even bring your body down towards the floor to stretch through the pelvic floor even more. And you can try those contracts and relax again. Just thinking about the sit bone stretching away from one another, the tailbone stretching away from pubic bone. Don't be afraid to stretch out these muscles. Even through injury, we need to make sure that they retain their full length. They can stretch, they can contract, and they can do everything we ask it to in between. So I hope you enjoyed your first postnatal Pilates program, and I hope you join me for stage 2.